All right, y'all, what's going on? This is Vandal. I'm back with another DAOdrops interview. Mr. Northstar right here. What's going on?
What's going on, y'all? Appreciate being here. Appreciate having me for sure. Definitely.
Dope, dope. Now, thank you so much for taking the time. I know we've been jumping back and forth on the schedule to make this happen, and I'm happy that we are doing this in time for the 16th, the drop, a bionic arm. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. But before we get into the song and the NFT, let people know a bit about yourself.
Definitely. Well, my name is Mr. Northstar. Started out being in a music collective like early 2011 to 2014, 2015, and everything like that. From Atlanta, Georgia, originally. Right now, I'm in LA. And everything like that. I got out here probably around 2018. So yeah, from there I've just been working my way back into my groove and everything like that, and just releasing more music and just picking up where I left off for sure. And now that's where I have this new project, Dungeon Raps, which Bionic Arm being one of those, and a previously released track that I already released, NWO.99, that I've pretty much just picking up where I left off since I dropped my last song back in 2018, before I moved out here and everything like that. So that, excuse me, that one is just picking up, where I left off, and Bionic Arm is just, pushing along and everything like that. So yeah. Absolutely.
Let's talk about the song a little bit. I know before we hit record here, you were talking about who you work with on the production. So maybe we can go
Yeah.
into that story a little bit for the peoples.
Yeah, so the producer that did Bionic Arm and the track that I just mentioned before, his name is Rojo. And I actually just met him randomly on Twitter, popped up on my timeline and everything like that. And I liked the visual work that he was putting along to the tracks that he was producing and everything like that. And before, the whole NFT boom and hitting the masses and everything like that, I was just appreciating him as a visual artist and a producer. And so one day I just randomly, hit him up like, hey, are you selling beats or anything like that? He was like, yeah, for sure, and everything like that. So out of those beats, came the tracks, NWO 99 and Bionic Arm. And what else? Yeah, after that, yeah, that's when the NFTs came. And sort of just like, yeah, like if you go to his page and everything like that, he's riding that wave for sure. But yeah, that's how the collaboration came along, and how I met, Rojo and everything like that. So
So tell us a bit about the song itself, like maybe what it's about, whether it fits into a bigger picture of a project that you're working on, and maybe about a little bit about your process on writing the song.
got you. Well, like I said before, Bionic Arm is part of the EP, the entirety of it, Dungeon Raps and everything like that. And the whole backstory behind Dungeon Raps is, imagine, Han Solo and Lando meeting in the little dive bar and everything like that, and just scrap the whole Star Wars theme and replace it with Quasimodo and MF Doom, those characters and everything like that. And just like the same thing as far as like it doesn't reach mainstream. Like I have these like tiered levels, so there's like mainstream, underground, and then there's dungeon. So like in dungeon, like yeah, the dungeon or whichever like that. There's like Tech Nine, Mortal Technique, all the people that you hear about, but it's not technically mainstream, but you hear their stories, you hear their and it's somewhat spoken like folklore or whichever like that. So like if back to the theme and dungeon raps and stuff like that. So imagine what you would hear, those stories that would come out that bar in this alternate universe or whichever like that, where those characters exist and everything like that. But yeah, so that's the backstory for dungeon raps. So Bionic Arm is pretty much, I was like not really inspired, but just I've always been into technology, just as simple as that. Always had a Game Boy SP Advance. Just always been intrigued, not intrigued by it, but I just liked it and everything like that. So playing lots of Halo and everything like that. I think, I don't remember when, but like I was reading stuff like exoskeletons. I was already reading about stuff like that, and like oh, they're like testing this stuff out in yard ships, just to like I would see articles and stuff like that pop up. So now that we're in this whole crypto boom, and even more so bionic prosthetics and everything like that. I was already reading articles about that. So what really like, because I was picking names out for Dungeon Raps. There's only 3 songs. The one I already released, Bionic Arm, and the third one is called 3. And I haven't, got a beat for it yet or anything like that. But I already know, what I want it to be about and everything like that. But Bionic Arm, yeah, the bionic prosthetics, Battle Angel of Alita, the movie and everything. I saw some concept art, probably like the end of 2020 or whichever like that, and like I was coming up with names just in my notes and stuff like that, and I was just like boom, because I was already and I already named my first song, and that has a backstory to that as well. But for Bionic Arm, it was already sort of like a thing. And, just as a kid and seeing, even some of the video games like Cyberpunk did a replica of one of their in-game pieces, and Assassin's Creed did a replica as well. But yeah, so like, just seeing that, I was just like, and Mortal Kombat. So so just seeing all that stuff, and just like, as a kid, I was into, all that stuff in technology as it is, right now and stuff like that. I was just like, okay, Bionic Arm, I guess, perfect right there. And that was all the inspiration. Yeah, definitely.
So did Rojo also do the artwork for the piece as well, or was the artwork
No,
done separately?
I did the artwork myself. My background, as well as making music and everything like that, is graphic design. So yeah, I animated that in After Effects first. Illustrator, then brought all the pieces into After Effects, and yeah, I put it all together and everything like that. That's actually like the first time I sort of did a deep dive in the After Effects, and like learning expressions and scripts and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. So, but yeah, that's part of my background is well, I've been in graphic communication since MySpace days. Luckily, my high school had a graphic design program. I was in there all 4 years, of course, and everything like that. And so, yeah, I just carried that, along with me, as well as, making music and stuff like that. So, yeah, this beat by Rojo, and yeah, written by me, and the, NFT and the animation and everything by me as well.
Yeah, that's it's really cool to be able to like flex those skills as well, right? Especially now that
Yeah,
we've got the NFTs and everything going on. And was there something
yeah.
specific that you can recall that you really got out of this? Like you mentioned, it was a learning experience, like you were testing yourself and learning new skills in terms of After Effects and that
Mhm.
sort of thing. Was there anything that really stuck with you that what you
Yeah,
learned coming through this?
definitely. Well, a lot of brainstorming for sure, because this is on the graphic design side. I've been doing this for 10 years, five plus years professionally, like in production shops and stuff like that. So I I already wanted to deep dive into After Effects. The cover art for NWO.99. I've been in After Effects and stuff like that, but this was more so like me spending over 6 hours. Just like okay, and getting this right, and not being in a rush to just and actually um you know uh, the interface or whichever, and learning and spending time with that. That was got more of a deep dive this time. But for this brainstorming, because I already off top wanted to make this an NFT. Originally, I was going into Blender first, and I don't know why I went to Blender first, but like I felt like I, needed, or whichever like that. And I was like, wait. So and this was like at the beginning when, everything, well, yeah, everything is still invites, but Zora was still invite. I know it's public now and everything like that. But like I was like, wait, hold on, you could just do a 2D animation, because at that time I was thinking like, how can I watermark it when it's an NFT? It has a hash of its own, so it's a one of one. But I'm already still thinking like, how can I? I saw Beeple's little holographic little thing like when you would preview it. So I was like, how? But like I just like stopped myself because I was not in a rush, but I saw like the move. You see the wave in the water, and I was like, okay, it's coming or whatever like that. So I slowed down. I was like, it doesn't have to be that complex. Blender can wait, and go into deep dive into After Effects. And that's how I like to do things, like one step at a time. I wouldn't have liked to be in Blender and then being in After Effects. I was like, okay, you've already been dabbing in After Effects, go ahead and just immerse a little bit further. So yeah, that was after brainstorming and sort of simplifying it and everything like that. That's what I came up with. Another influence behind putting this out, and not the name of Bionic Arm, but the cover art and the animation for it is definitely influenced by MF Doom, rest in peace, and his passing, because it was messed up. I saw his NFTs on October, and I was like, oh shit, MF Doom, is finally in that space, and I didn't get it. I was hesitant. I was like, oh, it's gonna be there. And so yeah, the whole thing passing this year and stuff like that. Yeah, I was just like, and that's pretty much, like my tribute, to MF Doom, Dungeon Raps, and this NFT and stuff like that. So, definitely got to finish this project for sure. But yeah, that was definitely like the last bit of juice I needed for sure. Yeah, but yeah, that was like the last thought I had in putting this NFT, and like even you can see it in the fonts I chose and stuff like that, and the way I set it up, and even the hands, it looks like a comic book style or whichever like that. And then it's NFT, it's and somewhat like my first, animation that, because I like it for sure and everything like that. But one of those, ones that, I'll add to my portfolio and stuff like that. But yeah, it was, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, That's definitely cool though. No, I'm saying that because I still, like I still play back to, you know, what I just made. I think every artist does. So, but,
Nice. And all right, so we spoke a bit about NFTs, and obviously you've been scoping out the scene on NFTs for a little while, but I'm curious to get your opinion on sort of the future, right? Being sort of in the future, bionic arm, and the idea of like
yeah,
these sort of technological integrations
already
with
here. Like,
human stuff. Exactly.
uh,
What do you think the future is with NFTs specifically relating to music and potentially leading into the type of things you want to experiment with it personally?
well, to answer the music thing and the NFTs, the past 2 days, finishing up this morning, OWC and Near Protocol had this conference demo day. And I saw this one, it's called VETZ, VEZT. And they already have an app and stuff like that where you could buy shares of ISOs. Initial song off, I forgot. I'm not going to butcher it that much, but that was one of the, and it's an app. So it's on your phone and stuff like that. So as far as the music, and everything like that, progressing where SoundCloud, streaming, because this is right now we're all in like a experimentation, phase. And I saw somebody tweeted like, hey, don't when you see not the rules, but like, when you go to somebody's protocols or, download their SPKs or install their SPKs or whichever like that, like, read the rules, but like understand like this is a space where, people are building upon that and like, shocking the people that, made it from the ground of like, oh, they did it, like, oh shit, look what they did. And so yeah, it's just I guess ownership for sure. And yeah, just picking up where, and pushing, because it's a lot of components to it, but I'm gonna try and simplify it. But definitely ownership, direct to, artist to consumer, so many ways to create, like, and I'll keep it at that, because there's, so yeah, moving forward in the future, um a lot of creativity, a lot of ownership, because also too, I have, I was doing last year intro to computer science online courses, so I understand too that where I'm at, like, a lot of people are, starting to learn, or, and everything like that. But once they do, it's like, I was just, I saw another one for like horse racing, like, just like, whichever like that. So it's like, the best analogy I'll use for that is Ready Player One, definitely for music, because, the artist always wanted to have the budget, not even the budget, but the creativity from day one. Like, hey, this is my rollout, this is my strategy, and not thinking so strict. I want, a little bit of strategy, like, this is my fan base and everything like that, but this is how I want to do it, essentially. And I want to have, and just, because now the way that people are using the space is somewhat like the sky's the limit until, something gets regulated, which I highly doubt anything will get regulated. But I'm sort of, rambling like this because there's a lot of protocols, there's a lot of blockchains that are out there that, are purposed in so many useful cases and I won't get too much off topic, but there was another one called Dead Man Sarcophagus or whichever like that, and it's like a dead switch or whichever like that for whichever your files or and it deals with encryption and everything. But that was one of the little things in demo day that there. So it's just so much, you know, out there or whichever like that. So and you know, there is no for like the artist or anything like that, there's no like hey, you have to be this, you have to be a member, you have to be authorized. It's just like if you know how to install it, if you if you know how to get into it, then yeah, it's like more power to you. But the only bad thing is that on my side and my understanding is that, you know, is now that you are, you know, it's like the dark web is literally on it, not to get too deep, but like the dark web is once you get in the coding and understand, you know, terminals and everything, it's like, okay, this is what, and for me now, my understanding, it's like dark web users is just like, it's like, no, it's just the way that you use it. It's the person code, I guess what they say in programming, a bad actor, quote unquote, or whichever like that. So yeah, it's up to you the way that you use it, and that's how, you know, you get messed up in scams and stuff like that. But not getting too deep into that. It's just sky's the limit for the artists, NFTs. It's the same thing as the blue chip market. Mona Lisa, Van Gogh, and investing into those timeless pieces. And from my perspective, now there's one artist, Fuocious, and I sort of stumbled upon him and like just sort of like, you know, definitely as artist abstract. But like, you know, from an artist and, you know, just from an artist standpoint, I'm like, okay, he's on to something. Like, you know, well, he's not on to something. He's just doing him, you know, and everything like that. And, you know, there hasn't been a new Mona Lisa. There hasn't been a new Van Gogh. There hasn't been a new Jean Basquiat. There hasn't, you know, so see, I'm like, oh, you know, it makes more sense. And, you know, when you see people like, oh, NFTs is a bubble, NF blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, NFT, I guess it got a bad rap because you sort of paired it with art, you know, and if you, once you deep dive, you know, into the whole crypto economy, there you go, crypto economy and everything like that, you'll find like smart contracts, and it's, it's sort of not like, it's like part of the backbone of what I think, you know, to be the blockchain. So once you get into NFTs and how it could be purposed and how different protocols and blockchains are, you know, using, you know, NFTs and not for art, like, you know, a lot of other things or whichever like that. But just, you know, it's just because with art, it's just, you know, you're putting a stamp to watermark. Essentially, you're just making it, okay, this, that, one of one in this digital space, this crypto space. And, you know, that's what it is, because if you've been on the internet and social media, Instagram and stuff like that, 3D artists have, you know, 4D cinema, you know, the people have been there and stuff like that. But in this case, now people can put, you know, that watermark in, just like with beat makers and producers, you know, they'll drop a song and then they'll be like, oh, premiere New World. But definitely Bionic Arm is coming out this Friday, April 16th, definitely with DAOrecords. I guess when I drop it, definitely check my profile. My Twitter handle is capital ME lowercase DOT capital US _ that's me.us. And definitely because I'll be posting a link and everything like that from DAOrecords page and everything like that. And yeah, it will be on OpenSea. get your MetaMask wallet state and everything like that. But yeah, definitely. And shout out to Rojo for sure for producing the tracks, and NWO 99. His Twitter handle is not Rojo, and that's lowercase NOT, all caps ROHO. And you can definitely check his work out. I believe he's on Foundation, and he has a bunch of NFTs spiraling in that space and everything like that. So definitely check him out as well. But yeah, definitely that's pretty much it. And I appreciate the time for sure. And thanks for having me. Definitely. And very excited because yeah, this is something, you know, like I said, just as a kid and everything like that, this is, you know, something just re-sparking that, just creativity, just like, just want to learn more and everything like that in this space. So yeah, definitely a lot more to come for sure.
Much love, Mr. Northstar. Me.us. The song is Bionic Arm, and you're watching this interview live right here in Cryptovoxels, the virtual world where you can experience the NFT right there on the wall. Press it, listen to it, purchase it. That's right. DAOrecords, DAOdrops, 16th of April. This is it. Let's do this. Much love, and thank you so much for being here for the interview. And
likewise.
Peace out.
Definitely.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Vandal back with another DAOdrops interview, and we've got our featured artist for today. It is Matlemad, aka Matteo Tambusi. How are you doing, man?
Good, Vandal, and you? Very happy to be here.
I'm so awesome, and I'm really happy to have you on this interview. I know that we've spoken like a bunch of times on chats and talking about music and NFTs and stuff. And I'm super excited about the release of your NFT, your audio NFT Ghost Track. But before we get into the song, I want to ask you a few questions just about yourself, or actually not a few questions. I want you to introduce yourself to everybody, and then just say whatever you want to say about you and who you are, and how you got into music. Just a quick introduction.
Yeah,
so the floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, I've been I'm from Turin, northern Italy, and I'm a musician. I've been a musician all my life, and I spent the last almost 10 years in Berlin. I'm back to Italy now, but I spent the last 10 years in Berlin basically, and working as a producer and trying to answer the call of broadening the scope of music way before knowing Ethereum. So I had started already doing some collective works with a studio that I co-ran at the time in Berlin. And that's basically it. At a certain point, I started working for Ethereum startups in Berlin as a sound operator for conferences. And bricks of knowledge here, bricks of knowledge there. Okay, that makes together. Okay, blah, blah, blah. So you get into, you get washed up into this Ethereum world, and it rocks. It really rocks. Like there's that attitude that I couldn't find in some music scene, some self-referring music scene, and which is sometimes very blind to what the possibilities are. David Bowie was someone who actually knew it in the 90s. That's when he actually put his whole catalog on the stock market, just as a private person, and or private artist. No, he did it through a company for sure. And that's basically my stage right now. I keep doing music, although of course I'm working more and more in Ethereum and impact projects. I did my 10th album last year, where I used a single called Emily to create an open label project using a dividend contract. Of course, we're talking about R&D. It's not that we are actually making any profit from it, but it's attempting new ways, kind of digging the tunnel a bit further down, I guess. Yeah. Sorry.
That's amazing because, this kind of leads into, what we're doing here with audio NFTs and Ghost Track and the idea behind that and the experimentation of technology and music, which, you've spoken a bit about, and then how that has influenced your process, not only as a musician, but someone within the scope of the music industry and entertainment and sound and technology. Can you tell us a bit first about the musical process of Ghost Track and then sort of the technical components?
Yeah, well, Ghost Track is something that I don't know if many millennials know what it is about. A Ghost Track usually is a piece of song. It's not even a song, a whole song. It's a piece of song that artists would put in the left space on CDs or vinyls. So you thought that the album was over, and then something popped up. That was the Ghost Track. Since you get music indexed on Spotify, basically that concept is vanished unless you tie it to a track, to a normal track. Well, my Ghost Track, this is the first that I do since 2006, basically. So it's the second. And I wanted to give it a try using a new standard. This Ghost Track in particular is just a mobile phone recording that I did with my phone, with my guitar, like a loop that I wanted to record, and it follows like an uneven structure. So you can't split the song equally because it's always 4/5, 4/5, 4/5. Well, it's just being post-produced in a studio here in Turin. I paid everyone in Ethereum, of course, and lyrics are inspired to Robert Plant, Even This Shall Pass Away, which is a track of one of his solo albums, and I kind of turned it into more of a temet nosce concept, which is the concept it's a Latin concept, but it's the concept that is taken in The Matrix, and the movie when the Oracle tells Neo, what's written up there, know yourself, and don't know what you have to do, but know yourself. So you will be ready to do whatever you have to do when the thing comes, when the call comes. So that's a bit the idea behind the song, artistically. Yeah.
Nice. And maybe just to kind of, draw deeper, like I really like that idea, because sometimes, you would listen to CDs or albums, back in the day, or a tape, and then you would think obviously the thing was over, right? But then you wait, and I remember the Roots on So You Think You Want More album, that they had one of those where at the end it would appear and then a new song would come in and then that would be sort of like that hidden Ghost Track, right? And I like that concept. But is that the Ghost Track is the track, or do people need to listen to silence first before it kicks in? Like how is it going to sound?
No, I just called it Ghost Track because it's the kind of composition that you would use for a Ghost Track. Like it's not 3 minutes long, maybe it's 1 minute 30 or something. It's a bit haunting, and but the ghost was also because it's a sort of catch to the. I wouldn't call it a startup. It's more of a collective that I'm working with, which is it's sort of building collective that I'm very happy to be part of, which is called Ethereum OS now in its final release. Before it was known as DFO Hub, and there's like they have their own imagery, visual imagery with comics, etc. But behind they are building a whole new world for managing content value, and for what concerns me, then of course they do more research in other fields. And it was just because of that. The song was meant to be a ghost track for a future album, but I wanted to burn it straight away into the on chain.
Awesome. Okay, so what about the visuals? Can you talk a bit about the visuals and who you collaborated with? Did you do them yourselves? How did you come up with the visuals? Can you give a little explanation around that?
Yeah, so there are basically two visuals. The main visual that I think people will be able to access is a video clip that I put together. Just trying to catch the visual loop of a candle against a screen and play around with the light that goes into feedback, so it kind of opens up and closes again. And just a candle, because usually, candle is about meditation, is about yourself, and is about life which is burning away. It's a bit the candle is also like what you use in order to feel the presence of ghosts around you in certain practices. So I just took, it was also the easiest things to look for in my house during lockdown, to be honest. So I'm just building a whole heap of explanation just to say that I went cheap.
Well, it's not necessarily about how much you paid for anything, but really how you use the thing, right? So that's exciting. Okay, so let's bring Ale into the conversation here as we move to the next component of this track, which is the NFT component. So either maybe Matteo, you can introduce it, or Ale, if you just want to jump in and explain what is special about this audio NFT.
Yeah. Now it's my time to talk about crazy things. So basically, thanks to the item technology, that is basically a new way to use and to think about the NFTs in general, because you have one object that is an NFT, but can be used at both as NFT and both as RC20. So finally, we have interoperable NFTs with all of the DeFi ecosystem and stuff without need to wrap or do all of these things. And so with Matteo, we want to try something that is totally crazy and new, and maybe some kind of like the first time in the whole ecosystem to do it. And so imagine to instead of selling NFTs, imagine to do the same things that DeFi project do with NFT. And so you will be able to farm it, and it will be inflated in a weekly basis. And so this will be the first farmable NFTs for its own release. And that's very, very cool. I mean, it's kind of totally new. So.
And Matteo, what did you think about this? Like, was this something that you and Ale had talked about before, or whose idea was it? How did this collaboration with Item come about specifically for this track in the experiment?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to. I like the Item concept, and which I think there will be a link where people can have a look at. The item concept is something so deep that you can get lost. And I also wanted to grasp the full, a good size of it by running a project on it. And of course, I needed Ale because he has the full understanding of what this new standard is about. And I think I managed. So if I should translate it into like music parallel, it's like you mint a certain number of like a limited series of say 10, and you put for sale like 4. Okay, so those 4 are for sale. Then the other 5 are basically stored as a treasury, as a reward for those who will farm it. and the left one you add it in a liquidity pool on say Uniswap, and then you create the farming contracts on Covenants, which is the magic place where these things happen. There will be a link for sure, and basically it's like you earn a limited edition, and you can grow the amount of that limited edition, and while doing it, you also grow the value of it. So it's something interesting, and I'm really not sure where it's leading the whole thing, but it's I think I will get to know more things as things develop. Just like I did with my last release with the Emily thing, I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I started understanding when people gave me feedbacks about it, and they started doing their own stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah,
I really like this. You know, we are sort of in this new digital renaissance of art and technology and the merger of the two. They've always been in one way or another connected, but now the ability to have them fully connected and have them do so many amazing different things specifically with NFTs in general is something that's really exciting. And we're at the beginning of what NFTs, especially for music, are going to look like. And it's experiments like the one that you're doing that's you know, really going to push the boundaries. And I would like to see, you know, more artists get inspired by this type of experimentation to really take risks, to do things they probably would never have thought of doing before, and to actually have the conversations with the people who are the technologists and the developers, so that creatively, because, you know, coding is a creative process as well. It is, in a way, its own art, right? So having that combination of different style of creatives with music and code, we can really kind of come up with something amazing and unique. And this is definitely one of those examples. So anybody who's watching this interview, I hope that this really inspires you. And I think before we end it, I want to also just ask you your thoughts, both of you, your thoughts on, you know, the future of music and NFTs and this technology, and what you think it should look like or what it might look like.
Ale, you first.
Oh, okay. I think the NFTs ecosystem, and for music, for artists, for gamers too, because there is a lot of things there too. It's basically the future of Ethereum, because NFTs is the natural evolution of the ERC20 standard. So what you see in DeFi, and so we will see a lot of more very cool things thanks to the NFT technology, the ERC1155, and I think this will be something that will be more kind of like things that I like, so art, gaming, and things, rather than just only finance. And so happy to be in the ecosystem too, and I think this is just the beginning right now for the NFT ecosystem, and there will be a lot of crazy stuff there.
My take on it is that I always have a look towards harmonization of the precedent system, because the fiat system, the centralized system, they still own something that we don't have, which is the ultimate force. Like, they can force things down if they want, you know. So I always tend to kind of try to develop, try to imagine technology and content in a way that can do some appeasement. So something that I would like for NFT to do, and I think I will start thinking about it, is incentives for people who wants to copy that content or wants to take inspiration, like digital incentives, like contracts that basically you can basically tie in and certify that you are taking inspiration from that. And because you're doing it, you also are rewarded. So you get into a streamline of copyright and influence, mutual influence. And you also incentivize people to claim, you know, to stand out and say, yeah, I copied from you that. And I'm proud to be your, you know, part of your, how you call it, part of your, my words, kind of, sorry, the word is gone.
No worries. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's so amazing. It's like the future of sampling in a lot of ways, what I'm hearing you say with that, right? But yeah, this is so amazing. I'm really excited. You know, we are, for those who are watching this right now, we are live in Cryptovoxels, and this is the 16th of April, and it's happening right now, the DAO drop. And don't sleep on this one, okay? Really don't. Matlemad, aka Matteo Tambusi, this is the Ghost Track NFT. You can do so much more with it than just listen to it and collect it, and we hope that you do that. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Matteo, Ale.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, guys.